Oh, good afternoon, actually early evening. I did say I was going to show you the MegaPac for using as a DC to DC converter. Finally getting around to doing it, and here I am in my messy little cubby of an office, much better than it is being out in the garage where it's nice and cold. Do a couple little quickie videos here. So what I have is I've got a few little items here on my desk. I have a MegaPac here. I've got a module, MegaPac module here, and this is a 12 volt module that can be used to operate contact switches, things like that. I've got one of these set up on my test bench right next to me here for charging my A123 batteries for fast charge. So just wanted to kind of show you here. This is about the size of the box. It's completely enclosed. It's all anodized black aluminum. On the back side, it's got a fan. This is from Vicor. These power factor corrected MegaPac, and these will take up to what the heck's that voltage? 115 to 230 volts AC, and you can also do DC. And right in the back here is the plug-ins for AC or DC, and they work just fine. Most controllers run off of like 12 to 18 volts or something like that, or 9 to 18 volts or something. So what you can do, which I have done with this one here, which I show is opened up all the little goodies inside, is I've taken 3 of these modules, slipped them into the front like you see here on this one. I hope we can see it really well here. Watching on the video is kind of tough to see how well it's going to show up, but we're doing pretty good. You can hook these up in parallel or in series. And for my controller and for my main power for the car, I put 3 of these together in series to get 15 volts. It's at 5 volts at 40 amps. So this is going to cover almost all of my needs. My controller requires 11.8 volts up to 18 volts, or up to 14.8 volts, excuse me. Above that, at 15 volts, my controller kind of balks and doesn't want to work. So what I had to do is I had to take a resistor on each, do a resistor on each one of these. And you can go to the Vicor site and figure out what you need to do depending on how much you want to reduce the output by. Reducing the output is actually fairly easy to do. There's a little pin, it's three pin here on the front of this, in between the 2 main posts. And what you do is on the little pin on the back side, the 2 outside pins, if you solder the resistor to that, the proper one, it will reduce the output. And so I've done that to reduce the output of these 3 to I think it's like 14.3 volts, and that way, and it's consistent, and it's a good consistent voltage. So I know that my controller is not going to balk, and it's got full power the whole time while I'm driving, so my controller doesn't crap out on me while I'm driving. It does have a fan. There's a fan on the back side of here. And when you turn this thing on, that fan comes on, and the fan comes on all the time. And what I've done is found out where the connections are, and I disconnected the fan from the board, so when the power goes to the board, it doesn't turn the fan on. And I can hook this to a switch and turn the switch and have this switch to turn the fan on when I want to, or you could even hook this up to a thermal switch and have it work. And that way the fan's not going to be on and being excessively noisy all the time. I do have this shut off when I shut the car off. I don't let this thing stay on. I could, but it's going to put a drain on my pack, so I don't do that. It's fairly simple procedure. There's a little screw down at the base, of this module here. Module's got a little heat sink connected to each side, top and bottom, and it's connected to the back side of the module, which the heat sinks out into that. And then when this thing's covered, the fan blows cool air across. And so when you have the cover on, you have to have all the bays in this thing filled. But you don't have to have them filled with an actual module. They actually have dummy modules, and they're plastic. And I don't have one hanging loose at the moment. Oh yeah, I do. It's just a little plastic container that looks like the module, same shape and all that stuff, and all that does is close off the hole, so when air is forced around the cooling fins of the modules. Under high load, the modules can get warm. They don't get terribly hot, but you do have to have that fan on for them to work and work well. So that's what we like here, and it's got the power that goes in. We've got some MOSFETs right in line with the fan to cool those, and then we've got a couple capacitors and a couple boards here, and everything stays actually quite cool. I'm actually quite pleased with these things here. But you can get these modules in different output formats. This one's 12 volts at 8.3 amps. So you can have other things run off these. So if you have like a contact switch and you don't want it to run off of the main set of modules here, you can actually run them off of these. So let's say I had a 24 volt switch, like some of the AC drives have. And so what I could do is I can get two of these and run these in parallel, or in series, excuse me, and have this at 24 volts, which will run that contactor coil. And so that's another reason why I like the Vicors, because you can kind of customize how you want to set your car up. It's a very simple block. It's kind of large, but it does work. So you need find a nice little out of the way place, but you don't want to block the air flow from these things. So it has to be able to flow air. You also don't want it in a place where it can get soaking wet if you happen to be driving in foul weather. So that's another big issue is foul weather. So keep it in a place that's reasonably dry, because nothing is sealed. These boxes are not watertight by any means. So if you have a place that you can kind of put a blocking cover, but not to block proper airflow, that would be a good idea to do. And basically you just hook up a power line to the back side, and it's just a little screw in the back, and you unscrew that, and it opens it up, and then you just plug your positive and negative inside there. And like I said, you can use these for other purposes. You can use these if you're testing batteries and you need to charge your test batteries, like I've been doing with my A123 cells. They make a really good charger, and that cell got a little bit bonked. I hope it didn't damage that cell. Maybe if it did, it'll show the damage down in the corner. So these cells are actually quite fragile. Got to be very, very careful with them. So I'm going to put that back up out of the way. It's not down. What I did is I went out and bought 6 of these MegaPacs. The reason I bought 6 is because I wanted to make sure I had enough to build a few of these in case I ever had more than one build, or if somebody wanted to buy one. I can sell you the base if you want a base. The extra modules that I have are probably modules that you're not going to use. Like one of them I have is a 70 volt. 70 volts at 2.8 amps. So if you have need of 70 volt output, you can do this. And you can trim the voltage up or down. It's not strictly one or the other. You can do both. And so anyway, that's really about it. They're very simple. They're very durable. I happen to like them, and Jack Rickard was the one that first announced these. And you can actually, if you can mount these, you can actually just use a module. If that's all you need, you can actually unhook these modules. Might even be able to find what pins on the back are the power pins, and just run it as is, and have and mount it up so you can have a tiny fan to cool it if you need it to be cooled, or even mount a heat sink on the back side. Take the heat sinks off, unplug it from this thing. There's little pins on here you can actually plug into, and just run your power straight through these things without going through the whole MegaPac. The reason that's a MegaPac is because you have different outputs that you can do. So it's a mega sized pack of little tiny modules. So if all you need is a single module for a single purpose, you can use these, and they work. They're small, they're lightweight, out of the way, and the module itself, if you take it off of this one that plugs into the MegaPac here, just the bare module itself, I believe, is waterproof, and so you don't have to worry about it, except the connectors, about getting them damp or wet or anything like that. It's only the components in the MegaPac that are not suited for water ingress. So keep them covered with the covers that come with them. Haven't decided how much I'd want to sell them for if you wanted to buy one from me. I only have a few, but I have to have at least 2 of them for myself. So that's what we're going to do. And I think that's about all that I have here. Not sure what else to show you. Micro, got all kinds of little things. I got little micro switches, yada yada. Haven't been doing much on my battery testing, so that's not going to be an issue at the moment. I do on the hey, okay. Um, Take a quick break here. On the front of automobiles, electric cars on the market, cars that we put together ourselves, or cars that are made by the big car companies. Um, I think there's a couple people out there that think that the car companies can't do it, but they have. It's just a matter of getting the public's perception and the public's desire to want one. And that's basically where this 100,000 or 1,000 person army is going to come from to fill that void. In the process, there'll be some people who have the ability, have the money, have the funds, have the financing, all that stuff to put together a little car company and build something really good. And it's going to take a visionary to push a group of people to do it. That'll just be added into what's already there. I was thinking about it, and the issue that I see is the car manufacturers can do the cars. Cars are already done. Electric motors are done. Batteries are done. And the big car companies can hire and get all the people they need to come in, build motors, build the machines to build the motors, and start building them on their own, rather than hiring or contracting with an outside company, which we've seen as not a very good proposition to do. Because if one company goes out, the battery company's stuck with all kinds of stuff. So if you build your own, you don't have to worry about it. You can build as needed. That's where that's at. It's not the battery. The batteries are the batteries are what make the car actually a decent car. So I drive one. I drive my Leaf every day, and I love it. It's just get in it and go, just like my other car. Just get in it and go. And that's why I bought it. I can't build one like that, but I was able to buy one, and I could afford to buy it, so I did. And people buy $30,000 cars all day long. And just to let you know that the Nissan Leaf is absolutely nothing like the Versa. The Versa is a piece of shit. Excuse my language. The Versa is a piece of shit. It has nothing. It has a little bit of looks to it, to the Versa and the Leaf. Other than that, that's it. There is nothing that says that Leaf is an $18,000 car converted to electric. Not a chance. Don't care what anybody else says. So car companies can do it. They've done it. They've got them. They have dove into electric cars in the past. So that's not an issue either. So the technology, or the disruptive technology, is only going to be in the batteries. It's not going to be for the cars themselves. We're going to have a few other people playing the game, but the car companies will succeed. There's no, I have no doubt. Hot rodders, some of them will get into it, some of them won't, because you get a nice big motor. You make it look pretty, you paint it, you make it smooth, run it down on the lathe and make it smooth, and paint it and polish it, and then cover it up with your controllers and batteries. That's not a hot rod. Hot rod is a thing of beauty and art. And yeah, you can make your motor to a point. You can make it a nice, shiny, round can. if it happens to be a round motor. And the new ones, you can make a nice square can. So hot rodding is more than just hot rodding. Hot rodding has grown into an art form. So I think some of the hot rodding is going to go, but not as much as some people think. Good, the car part. It's a car. You got tires, wheels, brakes, interiors, paint, all kinds of goodies to go on and around the car. But nothing beats a beautifully built gasoline engine in a hot rod, and you don't cover it up. But electric car, electric motor, yeah, it's unique because it's electric, but it's nothing like, and there's not a lot you can put on it because it doesn't need it. So anyway, that's my take on that. I think the car companies are going to do just fine. They're going to build them. Once people see us driving them. So that's why we need guys to go out and build them. Since you can't all afford to buy them, like I can or other people can, or you think the car's ugly, or that it's not that good. Well, my car is that good. It's ugly, but it's also a nice little looking car. I happen to like it. I thought the little Honda Insight was ugly. I thought the EV1 was ugly. I thought the old Carnegie was ugly. So it's perception. It's not like your old hot rods and old cars of the day. But I see new stuff coming, and I see the car companies succeeding at making electric cars and selling them. Contrary to a few people, actually, who. Building a car. Put my car on hold for a few because I was doing some teaching over at the college. Once Christmas is over, we're going to finish it up and get that going. Do the fast charging testing again, get all that stuff going like I was supposed to be doing. And yeah, all my old rust bucket, rusty old Carnegies, actually most of them weren't that bad. A couple of them were a little rough paint-wise, but they weren't as bad as they looked on the camera. Those are all gone. So I've got my little hot rod Volkswagen, little open-top roadster. That's going to just be for fun. And then my Nissan Leaf, and eventually my Volkswagen bus. Haven't decided. I'm thinking of going AC with the bus, but not necessarily with the new AC stuff that's out on the market. But I do lust after that, though. It's pretty nice. I'd like to do a front-wheel drive car with one of those transmissions too, and I've been thinking about that seriously. Come up with a way to convert the car and using that stuff, but it's still just a conversion. It's still just an $18,000 car converted truly to electric. So that value proposition isn't even there even on those. But it looks good, and it can be done, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Same with nothing wrong with going out and buying a Volt or a Leaf or a Prius. They all have their place, and everybody's got. The public's going to find their niche. A lot of people buy the Prius anymore. It just went. And the Prius didn't sell that well at first either. So I have no worries whether or not they're going to be making 100,000 of them this year or next year or the year after that. I never figured that they would sell that many anyway. right out of the gate, because the Prius didn't either. But I think they're doing pretty damn good. We now have 4 Nissan Leafs out in my little neck of the woods, out in the middle of nowhere. No charging infrastructure anywhere out here, and we have 4 Nissan Leafs. 1, not even in our area. Well, yeah, maybe one. Chevy Volt. Hey, it says quite a bit. For our little neck of the woods, where there is no charging infrastructure, where you would think they wouldn't sell, they are. And there's some up in Grass Valley. So, and there's a couple out in Chico. And I'm talking 4 right in my neighborhood. I've got one, and I've seen 3 others now, right here local in Marysville, Yuba City. Tiny out of the way place, and none of them have I met. Not yet. I met one guy from Grass Valley, one gal from the Bay Area, and one gal from Chico, because she works over at the hospital where I work. Gal from the Bay Area came down to the local college on a Green Day thing that they were doing, and showed off her car with a bunch of other people, showing off all this natural items and things like that, and environmentally friendly car paint. So one company was showing that off, and so I finished with my class at the college and saw that and said, hey, I don't have to be anywhere anytime soon. So I took my Leaf over there and showed it off too. And so we had 2 Leafs over there, but one was from the Bay Area, one was mine, and it was received pretty well. Just get it in front of people, and a lot of questions. And one guy came from Sacramento with his Chevy Volt. Well, that's about it. There's not a whole lot of. I don't dig around the archives hunting for tons of news. Oh, feeding the cat time. Anyway, that's what I got for the week, and so if you're considering doing a DC-DC converter, consider the Vicor, either the individuals or use the MegaPac, which would make things a lot better. And we'll see you all next time.